Hi, my name's Mike and welcome to this video from Mida Travel. This is part 3 of our Marella Cruises first timers, and hopefully there will be lots more hints, tips and information for you. And today's subject, yes, everybody's favourite, one of life's pleasures, food and drink. I'm going to go straight away and just say, please, if you haven't, before I give you this first really important tip, then please consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything and it helps a small channel like us get our stuff out to more people. Also, if you do find this video useful, please consider giving us a like. And also, if you want information when we release future videos, then hit the bell button as well. So what is that first really important bit of information? Well, if you're like me and prone to putting on weight easy, then the likelihood is on the cruise you are going to put on a bucket load. Now, on the last 2-week cruise that I did, I put on 10 pounds. Yes, shocking. 10 pounds. So my advice would be, if you are prone to that, and if you're not somebody who's used to doing everyday exercise and going to the gym every day, yes, we say we're going to go to the gym every day when we're on there and we never do. So what my advice would be is try and shed a few pounds before you go on your cruise. Because certainly it's something that I'm going to try and do in future. Because that will soften the blow, and also perhaps you won't feel quite so bad when you're stuffing yourself with a 3-course sort of lunch every day, a full English breakfast, ice creams, cakes. It will definitely soften the blow a bit. The other thing is you are likely to say, oh, I'll go to the gym every day, or I'll go up and walk however many laps of the track. It doesn't happen. There's too many other things going on that you want to do. So let's start first of all by looking pre-cruise and the sort of questions you'll probably be faced with. The first is, do you book premium drinks or not? Now, premium drinks will cost you £80 pre-cruise. And so that's why it's worth thinking about before you go onto the ship. You can wait, but if you wait till you're on the ship, you're going to pay another extra £10. And at the moment, I believe it's £90. We have got a video, I will put a link above, about drink, whether you should go premium or all-inclusive. Our opinion, of course, there is no wrong answer, because even if you pay the £80 or £90 each per week, and yes, that's the first thing to bear in mind. If one adult in the cabin has premium, every adult in that cabin has to have premium as well. Obviously, it's been abused in the past and they're not going to let that happen again. So bear that in mind. For 2 of you, it's going to cost you for a week's cruise, 160 pre-cruise, 180 if you wait to book. Now, in our video, we go through this. Now, these booklets I love. We got one when we first sailed on Discovery 2. I couldn't get one on Voyager, but I did get one on Explorer as well. And this book shows you every sort of class of drink, what is premium and what is all-inclusive. And this was sort of a big factor in us deciding what we wanted to do. Now, our first cruise, we chose premium, mainly because I love a coffee, and I like the speciality coffees. And the other thing is there were so many more cocktails on the premium list. But in reality, what happens, you tend to stick to the same drinks and the same cocktails. And we also found with the cocktails that they were very similar. Basically too much alcohol. Now, some people might like that, but for us, there was too much alcohol. We didn't learn on that first cruise, but we did on the second. Order the drink without alcohol and then order a shot of alcohol, and then you can control how much you like. So that worked much better for us. But yes, the cocktails we were a little bit disappointed in. And so on our second cruise, we decided that we didn't need the premium. We didn't feel that we got our money's worth. Now, if you drink just one brand and it's in the premium, then obviously it's going to be worth your while, because at just a little over £10 a day, then you are getting cracking value for not having to worry for whatever you drink, and then you can always make your mind up at a later date. But it is quite amazing what you can get on the all-inclusive, and our video and this going through this book will help you decide which package you need. Right, speciality restaurants. There are different speciality restaurants on each of the ships. I'll talk about the two that are constant across all of the ships, and whether you should book them. Now, speciality restaurants become available to book about 3 months before you cruise via the cruise planner. Now, there are some exceptions to that. If you're going on the Voyager, you won't be able to book the Silver Fork until you are on the ship, and the same with Explorer. You won't be able to book the dining club until you are on the ship, but we'll come back more of that later. So you are left with some options you can book. They tend to be Surf and Turf, Coralar, and they are the two main ones that you will find on the cruise planner. Now, we think if you are if you're just looking for that something a little bit extra special one night, definitely the class of food and service is above what you will get at the all-inclusive dining rooms. We have sort of mixed reviews on Coralar. We had a disappointing meal on Discovery 2, but we loved Coralar on both Voyager and Explorer. So maybe we were just unlucky the night we went to Discovery 2. The air conditioning wasn't working, so that didn't help. Surf and Turf has been superb on all of the ships, and we would have no problem recommending Surf and Turf. If you like your steak or your lobster or your prawns, then definitely think about going, because we have not had a bad meal at any of the Surf and Turfs. If you are celebrating a special occasion, then definitely consider letting the restaurant know in advance, because they will often do something special. Can't be guaranteed, but I would be very surprised if they didn't. Now, some of the other specialty restaurants and some of the other things that might be available to book on there. People ask, something that's proving very popular and will sell out very quickly on Marella Voyager is the Exchange. The Exchange do 2 shows. I believe they do them twice a week now because it's been so popular, the Lock-In and the Heist. Where do you pre-book these? Well, although they're not restaurants and you don't get food, they are on the speciality dining. So look out for them there, and you should be able to book them. As I say, you don't get food, but you do get 3 special cocktails which are unique to that event. Have to say they were a little disappointing, but I know they're being looked at. The other thing that people ask about, where do they book, is the great musical afternoon tea. Now, these are held once a week on board the ships. They are not available to book until you are on the ship, or they haven't been previously. That might have changed. If you have been able to pre-book the musical afternoon tea, please let me know in the comments so that I'm up to date. So the musical afternoon tea, we would 100% recommend this if you are on Discovery 2. The dining room in Discovery 2 is the host for the event. It's just in front of the main staircase with the 2 sweeping stairs. The piano's up on a pedestal so everybody can see it. And it was an absolutely superb afternoon. For about £15 each, we had a lovely afternoon tea. Pianist playing songs from musicals. We had a couple of the show team turn up and sing a couple of songs. My only slight quibble with them is that they didn't carry on after the pianist finished. They just put normal background music on when they could have put musicals playing in the background. But it was a superb event, so we would definitely recommend it on Discovery 2 if you like your musicals and your afternoon tea. We didn't quite have the same experience on Voyager, and that put us off going to Explorer because they hold it in the same location. They don't have it in the main dining room, they have it in either the Silver Fork or the dining club, and we just found the room didn't lend itself to the event. You haven't got the same drama when they come on with the teas. The pianist, and when the singers came on, we had our backs to them. And the other thing which really spoilt it for us that day was they mixed up our food, and one of us got fish on our platter when it shouldn't have been there. So we didn't have the same experience, but I know many people who have been on the afternoon tea on these ships and said how wonderful they thought it was. Maybe ours was marred because we had such an incredible experience on Discovery too. Now, if you do want to book Silver Fork, Dining Club, or one of the others that isn't available until you get on ship, then certainly we would advise that you do it on that first night that you are on the ship. That way, we always like to eat early, so we book the earliest sit-in, and we find that suits us because then we've got time to go to the early show with a drink in between. So we like to eat at 6:30, so to ensure that we get that time, and also we like to do it on a sea day because we find it just gives us something on that sea day to look forward to. And that's what we prefer to do. So book it straight away so you get the time and the date that you want. One of the questions that does get asked regarding speciality dining is, can you order the drinks that you want, whatever package you're on? Yes, you can. There is not a specific drinks menu. You will not have to pay extra for drinks. You can order, if you are on the premium, a premium drink. If you're on the all-inclusive, you can order something that's on the all-inclusive list. There is no special menu, although I will say that some of the speciality restaurants do have additional drinks. Certainly in the dining club, we had a really nice coffee and we paid extra for that. It was a liqueur coffee, but we felt that was well worth the extra as a treat. If you have got any questions about speciality restaurants, then please place them down below and we will do our best to answer them. Right, let's get back to boarding the ship. Firstly, do not bring alcohol onto the ship. It is not allowed unless if you have purchased it on the flight over and you have got proof of that purchase, then you can bring on the allowance. If you haven't, then it may be confiscated and you won't get it back until the end of the cruise. Also, don't try and buy in the port because again, it's not allowed to be taken on. So when you've actually boarded the ship, our advice would be most people will go straight to the buffet. Now, it may well be that that's the only option open, but if you have got the option of going to the main dining room, they open from 12 till 2 p.m, then we think it's better to go to the main dining room for a number of reasons. Firstly, you can suss out the tables. Every table in the main dining room has got a number on it. We look at what tables we like, take a picture of it, and then every time we eat in that restaurant in future, we ask for that table number. Now, of course, it is good to have a couple of options, but we have never had a problem getting the table we wanted, probably because we eat as soon as these restaurants open. We're early eaters. The other benefits are that you will start to get to know the staff that work in there. And we would advise to keep the same table if you like the staff, because you will build up a big rapport with them, and the service staff are absolutely brilliant. We have a good laugh with them. They get to know our likes, dislikes, and that makes dining even more of a pleasurable experience. I missed out the fact that obviously the main dining room tends to be quieter because everybody's making all the noise up in the buffet. And the other thing is you get to sample a 3-course meal and have it all brought to you, and drinks, whatever else, without having to do a thing. Now, I will just say there are gluten-free and vegetarian options on every menu. Anywhere you eat, you will see the options for vegetarian or gluten-free. You will always be asked before you have a meal whether you have any dietary requirements. Now, when you get to your cabin for the first time, you will find the cruise news. Now, within the cruise news, you have got where and when. Where and when lists all of the restaurants, whether they're open for breakfast, lunch, dinner, or late night snacks. They give you the opening times. It's important that you get to know where your options are to eat. And I'll go through a normal day for us in a short while. But definitely we would say go off on your first night or first morning, particularly if it's a sea day, and go and find all of the different places, restaurants, places that you can eat, because they are all over the ship and there are a lot of options. We used to love breakfast on Discovery 2 in the buffet, but on Voyager and Explorer, we actually preferred going to the main dining room. So try different places for different meals and you will find that you might be surprised. And the other reason I say go and spot where they all are, go through the list, is because our first cruise on Marella Discovery 2, we didn't try or realise the restaurant in the glass house. And so it was about 5 or 6 days until we discovered it. And when we discovered it, it was brilliant. We loved the food there. It was sort of fast food. But they also did a superb carrot cake, which was like my little lunchtime treat. So if you don't go through the list and try them or check them out at least, you won't know what you're missing out on. Right. If you've got drinks in your room, you won't have a lot of choice. So the first thing that I tend to do is go up to the buffet or on the Voyager, the kitchens, and have a look what's in the tea and coffee selection there. I then take a nice selection from there and take to the room. Also, it's worth taking a little bit of milk in a cup because you don't get a lot in the room, and it saves you having to go run in after the cabin stewards to get some more milk. And you'll also have a much nicer choice of drinks. Just to go through a day for me, I love to be up early because I like to go up on top deck as early as I can, see the sunrise, see us arriving into the port. Now, you can get a cup of tea and pastries from about 6:30 in the morning, usually from the buffet or the kitchens. So that's what I do. I go up to the kitchens, get myself a nice cup of coffee and a pastry, and go out onto the top deck and enjoy the sail in. Now, obviously, it depends whether you're at sea for the day or whether you're in port, but we will then normally go for breakfast. Now, in the kitchens, they only do pastries from 6:30 till 7, but main breakfast will be available from 7 p.m. Now, if you have got an early start that day, then it may well be that the buffet or kitchens is going to be your best bet. Now, the buffet and kitchens opens at 6:30 for pastries, and then 7 o'clock for main breakfast. The main dining room doesn't open till 7:30 a.m. for breakfast. What we would suggest when you get to the buffet for the first time or kitchens is take 10 minutes just to have a walk round. Go and see where everything is, because we are falling into the trap of the first day of getting this, getting that, putting it on the table, and then realising we haven't got toast, and then realising we want orange juice, and things are going cold. So we now have a good look round, find out exactly where it is, and we know we can go get drinks, toast, food, and know exactly where we're going. Sometimes the omelette station is not easy to find, so these things are worth checking out before you eat there for the first time. Right, let's say we're at sea for the day. So It's going to be hard to go through all the restaurants because they do vary from ship to ship. But one thing they have all got is a pool deck, and on the pool deck they have something called the Snack Shack. The Snack Shack is great for quick snacks while you're on the pool. You can go get beautiful fish and chips. You can get burger and chips. You've got fridges with sandwiches, salads, and you've also got some cookies. So I'd always say grab a couple of cookies and take them back to the room with you, so you've got a late night snack with your cuppa later. Also look out next to the Snack Shack, because on afternoons, different on Explorer and on Voyager, and I'll explain why in a minute, but on Discovery 2 they have an ice cream machine next to Snack Shack, and in the afternoon you can get some Mr. Whippy type ice cream. On the Explorer they do that in the main buffet, and on Voyager you've actually got a proper ice cream cart with about 20 flavoured ice creams. It's unique to Voyager, and really they need to get it on all the ships, because the only place on the other ships you can get ice cream of that standard is in Coffeeport, and you have to pay for it. Right, so you've gone through your list, you've checked out all these places, you know where they are, you know what times they're open, you know what sort of food they are. Let me just give you a few more tips from some of the different restaurants. Main dining room, you are all inclusive. If you want to try 2 dishes, order 2 dishes, it won't be a problem. We often have 2 sweets, there's 2 puddings that I just can't resist the sound of one of them, or we'll ask for ice cream to be mixed with it. Ask if there's something that you really want to try. Obviously we all know if you go to a restaurant and you pay for it, you're reluctant to have something new because you don't know whether you're going to like it. Well, the great thing that I love about cruising is that if there's something on the menu and you want to try it, you can try it. If you don't like it, you can order something else. Just to cover the extras, I don't think it's really the done thing, because you've paid a cover charge. I don't think you can go into somewhere like Surf and Turf and order one steak and then order another. But what they are pretty good at doing, I think in the menu it says you can have 3 or 4 sides. But if there's a 5th you want, they're pretty good at doing you that. If you ask, you know, if you don't ask, you don't get. But they are pretty good. Just don't go thinking you're going to get 2 or 3 different types of steaks and all sorts of things. But don't be afraid to ask for extra bread, extra sort of another side dish. They won't have a problem with that. Bear in mind, if you have restaurants like the pizza or the tapas, that their menus change. The menu at lunchtime is different to the menu that you will get in the evening. At the pizza, for example, Nonna's on Voyager, you can't make your own pizza, and there's only probably 2 or 3 choices for lunch. But in the evening, you can build your own pizza and have what you want on it. So just because you don't like the menu at lunch, it will be different in the evening. Just a little tip for people on Voyager: if the main kitchens is really busy and you can't get a seat, you can get your food, and right next door you've got Nonna's, and you've also got the tapas. You can go in there and eat your food there without any problem at all. If you're looking for a late night snack, then they are usually available from 10 p.m. On some ships it's till 12:30 a.m, on others it's 1 a.m, and there you can get a few light bites if you're not full enough, a few light bites to eat, such as burgers, chips. I think there's usually a curry or something like that. So there's always something available right up until 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. Moving on to drinks, I will cover the drinks in the buffet or the kitchens. You are able to get coffee. They have lovely coffee machines with a variety of different types of coffee. Really nice. The only downside is sometimes the beans run out in top and you have to wait a while for them to be refilled. You've also got soft drinks available, but only for lunch and dinner. And I think these include Coke, Diet Coke and Fanta. You've also got water, you've also got coffees and teas. Now for lunch, and dinner in the buffet or the kitchens, you have beer on tap and you have wine on tap. While I think about it, just for the sake of soft drinks, if you're someone that likes your cans of soft drinks, even if you are on premium, you will not get a soft drink till after 10 a.m. in the morning. This is something that I learned when we were on premium, and it drove me absolutely up the wall. Right, as with the restaurants, in the cruise news, you also have your list of bars and what time they open. Now, majority of bars, you can get any drink from all inclusive or premium. Some bars are premium only, such as the gin and whiskey bar on Explorer, or you've got the Exchange is premium menu only. But otherwise, most of the pubs and bars, you can get whatever drinks that you want. So let's start with the main one. The main sort of bar on each of the Marella ships is the Squid and Anchor. Now, the Squid and Anchor is the main hub of activity. You get game shows, quizzes, you get band jam, you get the bigger bands, you get karaoke. These all take place in the Squid and Anchor, and the Squid and Anchor can become very busy in the evenings and often quite busy and difficult to get a table. Now, you do get waiter service in the bars, but it can be a little bit hit and miss when it is that busy, and often you're better going to the bar yourself and getting a drink. The secondary bar on most of the ships is the one near the theatre, and it's the Live Lounge on Discovery 2. It's the Art House on Voyager. They have different names, but they're all in a similar position near to the theatre. We find this ideal for pre-theatre drink. We go there straight after we've had our evening meal and have a drink before we go to the theatre. Now, if you are going to the theatre for either the 8:30 or the 10:30 show, there are drinks as you go into the theatre. They're on a table, they're limited choice. But there are wines, there are beers, there are soft drinks. So if you want a drink, you can get them there without having to take it from the bar. There are, of course, other bars. The Art House has always got music playing in. There's usually about 5 different sort of soloists or bands playing around the ship. So most of the bars you will find entertainment. Now, when you order a drink from any of the bars, make sure you have your room card with you. Your room card will 99% of the time be asked for because it does say on there whether you're all-inclusive or premium, and obviously they still register this to your room. So make sure you keep that on you when you want to order a drink. We have found waiter service a little bit sketchy around the ship. I've covered it in the Squid and Anchor, but it tends to be the same everywhere. Occasionally you can sit down and somebody will come and ask you what you want to drink, but often we find it's quicker just to go and get your own drink from the bar. Now, if you're around the pool deck by the day, look out for the big bins because they will have cold beers in that you can just go and help yourself. Also, if you're on the pool deck bar can become very busy. If you go up one flight of stairs, there's a place called the Shack, which is another bar on the floor above. That one is usually much quieter and probably a better place if the pool deck bar is busy to go up and get your drinks. Right, coffee port. Coffee port, if you like your coffee, and I have to say they do Lavazzo coffee, which is absolutely beautiful. But coffee port, all the drinks are premium. Now, if you want a nice coffee, you can get a cafe, a latte, a cappuccino from other bars without having to pay the extra money in the coffee port. Right, water is not available in bottles on the ship if you are on all-inclusive. So what we sort of suggest is take a thermal flask. We took a sort of 500ml thermal flask. There are water stations by each of the lifts on the cabin decks. and you can go and get ice cold water. Put it in your flask, and it's great for either taking off the ship if you're going off for the ship for the day, and it's great for having in the room overnight when it stays ice cold. There is water sort of in bottles as you leave the ship, but you will pay for these, and I think that goes for premium also. I think if you're on premium you get 1.5 litre a bottle a day, but now they've taken the fridges out the room. When we were on Discovery 2 we had no fridge. The 1.5 litre bottle was delivered to the cabin each day, and it was warm, so we never actually drank it. We had about 4 bottles lined up when we left that we hadn't used. Take the thermal flask and use the cold water machines, so much better. I will just mention one more thing, the exchange on Marella Voyager. When a show is not being held, anybody can go and use it. The bar is open just without the show, but do bear in mind it's a premium menu only. Please drink responsibly. We've been on 3 Marella cruises and we have seen no drunken or bad behaviour. I think most people on Marella, me included, tend to get to the tipsy, let's have a laugh stage, but don't go over the edge, because a cruise ship is not the best place to be stumbling around drunk on. Enjoy the food. We certainly have. We think Marella, Voyager and Explorer, the food has been exceptional. Discovery 2, after the first couple of bad experiences, we really felt that we ate well on there also. So I'm sure you're going to eat and drink well. If I've missed anything out, then please put it in the comments below, because if I think of anything more, I will add them in the comments down below as well, because I'm sure there's lots of other tips out there that I haven't given you today. So a big thank you for watching. Again, if you haven't subscribed, please consider it. Hit the like button and the bell for notifications of our forthcoming videos. It helps us out a great deal. There will be a part 4 for first time cruisers. This will cover everything else around the ship and will be absolutely bang, 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 tip after tip. So I look forward to seeing you for that one. And until next time, take care everyone out there, and happy cruising.